So Pete, tonight is just, if nobody speaks, it just goes to referendum, right?
Yeah, this is just informational, and people either talk for or against or both.
Pete, your audio is terrible right now. Could you go to the mute icon and then that caret that's next to it and make sure you got the right microphone selected? Noreen, I think you're muted still.
Can you hear me now, Mike?
Yes, that's a little bit better. Can you say a couple of sentences real quick? Make sure we got the audio actually.
How about now? Is that better?
Not really. All right.
Hang on. How about this one? Is this better?
Still not really. It sounds kind of like this right now, Pete. Okay, Noreen, I think we can hear you now too.
Okay, so I'll just leave it as is. Will you mute or unmute me, or do I need to do it?
I can do that if you want, but I can only send an invite. Actually, Pete, can you make me the host real quick? Because maybe there's a way from the host in webinar to force an unmute for a panelist.
Am I sounding better?
Kind of. I think, Pete, if you're going to speak tonight, just kind of speak slowly and deliberately. Because it's like I said, it sounds like you're talking like this right now.
I'll be speaking tonight. Hey, can you unmute Tommy and Rick for a minute?
Guys, I've sent you guys invitations to unmute. I have the settings set up so that panelists should be able to unmute yourselves. And you guys should be able to start video if you like. If you guys don't want to be on screen, that's fine too.
Rick,
oh my God, Pete, I can't understand a word you're saying.
Can't hear Pete at all.
You need to get a headset, Pete.
Who is?
I'm here at Town Hall if you want to come up the hallway to my
Rick,
hallway.
how are you watching this right now?
Zoom app on my iPhone.
Do you have it open on the TV or anything too?
Yes.
Could you mute the TV? We're getting a gigantic echo, that's all. All right, just as a real quick thing before we get started here, because it's just about 7 o'clock, we do have some viewers on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. Just as a quick aside to the viewers on YouTube. Oh, sorry. Can you, maybe if you turn on, can you listen to it through your phone?
Yeah, I've got to change the settings. Hold on.
Okay. Because again, we're getting a gigantic echo. So to everyone who's watching on YouTube, thanks for tuning in on YouTube. First things first, one of the things that you guys could do for us that would really help us out is if you guys could subscribe to the town's YouTube channel, because once we get to 1,000 subscribers, there are 30,000 people in town, so I'm sure we can get to 1,000 subscribers at some point. We would then qualify for having live captioning done by YouTube. So right now we do not qualify for live captioning on YouTube because we do not have enough subscribers. So if you guys could subscribe, that would be very helpful. Also, if you'd like to actually participate in tonight's town meeting and you guys are watching on YouTube, you will have to actually join the Zoom meeting itself. To do that, in this video's description on YouTube, there is a link to the agenda, and in the agenda is the information on how to join the meeting. So check that out.
Should I join on my phone?
No, just listen with me.
And everybody who is an attendee will be promoting you to panelists momentarily.
We lost the mayor.
Yeah, I think he's just kicking himself and then coming back so he can get his audio settings fixed. So for everyone who has just been promoted to a panelist, you now have the opportunity to control your own audio and video. So you can mute yourself, you can unmute yourself on both audio and video. I highly recommend headphones because we are getting some feedback from somebody.
Mike,
Noreen, go ahead.
I didn't know how many are town residents or taxpayers in town. Is there any way to get them to raise their hand if they're town residents.
Yes. All right. So for the sake of helping out Stephanie Barksdale, if you are a qualified voter for the referendum, that's incoming for this conversation, please use the raise hand feature. Because this is a webinar, at the bottom of your screen, there is just a yellow icon that says raise hand and has a little hand symbol next to it. So I'm going to do the same thing too, because I can actually do that. Pete is the host. I do not believe as the host, he can raise his hand.
I know, Noreen, you're a town resident, right?
Yes.
Greg's not. Olga, are you a town resident?
Olga is.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
And then Tommy is. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right?
Tommy, if that's Tommy Pillow, I'm just going to ask you to unmute real quick. I'm assuming that's you, Tommy. Okay, then. We don't know.
It's Tommy.
All right. We got one more attendee, Doug Skelly.
Okay.
All right. Everybody, I'm going to put your hands down. So all right, we're at 7:00. Pete, do you want to, Noreen, I think it's your meetings, one of the two of you.
Yep. Noreen's going to start it off.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order, and let's start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America.
and to
To the
the
republic,
which
it stands
nation,
one nation,
Under
indivisible,
God,
liberty.
indivisible, liberty and justice.
liberty, and justice for all.
Okay. Do I have any nominations for a moderator?
We need to unmute.
Oh,
So everybody who is muted, you have the ability to unmute yourselves now. So if you guys would like to participate, please unmute yourself, at least in audio.
So if someone could make a motion to nominate me for.
Well, now that your audio is fixed, yes, I move to
Okay.
nominate Mayor Pete Bass to moderate this town meeting.
Thank you. Do I have?
Second.
I second.
Awesome. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Thank you, Noreen.
Real
Mike?
quick, Pete, how do you want to do actual voting here?
What we would do is I would say we raise, there is no votes tonight. This is just for informational only.
Okay.
So whoever wants to raise their hand. Before I do that, though, I would like to call the warning. This was in the paper on the 23rd day of April, and this is the annual town budget meeting, Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. You're invited to a Zoom webinar when May 4th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The link is stated in the actual warning, public notice. The electors of the town of New Milford and those qualified to vote in a town meeting are hereby warned and notified that the annual town budget meeting will be held in virtually via Zoom in the said town of New Milford, Tuesday, May 4th, 2021 at 7 p.m. and consider and act as appropriate upon the following agenda. To see public comment and discuss the proposed town government portion of the budget as prepared by the Board of Finance in and for said town for the ensuing fiscal year, July 1st, 2021, to and including June 30th, 2022, in the amount of $39,259,124. No vote shall be taken. To receive public comment and to discuss the proposed Board of Education portion of the budget as is prepared by the Board of Finance in and for said town for the ensuing fiscal year, July 1st, 2021, to and including June 30th, 2022, in the amount of $65,846,024. No vote shall be taken. To consider and vote upon the following: shall real estate and non-motor vehicle personal property tax for property tax October 1st, 2020, grant list be payable in 2 equal installments, July 1st and January 21st, except their motor vehicle property taxes, and any property tax not in excess of $100 shall be due in a single payment as authorized by the state of Connecticut. Okay. Next, Mike, could we have any public comment. Anyone that would like to address the town meeting, either for, against, it could be for the town budget, the educational budget, or both.
Is there a limit to how long people have to speak?
No,
Or-
5 minutes, I would say.
Okay, Patty, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Pat Erickson, 65 Buckingham Road, New Milford, Connecticut. I just would like to support both budgets, but I'd also like to take this time to thank each and every one of our members on boards and commissions and in the town offices for working and getting us through this terrible past year. You've all done a tremendous job, and I'm proud of all of you. And I can't thank you enough for all that you've done for the town, each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And this is the first time I can remember in all my lifetime in this town when all the boards and the school board agreed on a budget. And it was the nicest thing to see happen after the year we've had. So thank you all, and continue to stay safe, and let's keep our numbers down. Thank you.
Thank you.
For anyone, just as an administrative thing, for anyone who raises your hand, please keep your hand raised until I lower it for you, just so we can keep track of who's got their hand raised. All right, Rick and Lisa Agee.
Hi, it's Rick and Lisa, and on behalf of both of us, we'd like to say thank you to everybody who worked on this budget process. I know it was a tough one this year, and we fully support both budgets, and thank everybody for their hard work.
Thank you.
Rick, can I get the home address, please?
Sure, it's 1 Murphy's Way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, there's not any other hands raised. Do you want to keep the floor open for a minute here?
Yeah, we'll keep it open for a minute, and while we're waiting to see if anybody else would like to opine on this year's budget, as was said by the 2 previous members of the public, we deeply thank all the volunteers and members, our town employees, both on the town side and the educational side, the Board of Education as well. Everybody working together for this budget. It's one I think we can all be very proud of. If it goes through and does pass via the public, this will be the first time, I believe in 34 years, I think it was, that we'll have a back-to-back tax rate reduction. So very excited about the opportunity. And again, thank you for everyone involved, especially our volunteers that give their time, effort, and talent, and our town employees that have done such a wonderful job through this pandemic.
All right. Well, if I guess while we're waiting too, I have something I'd like to contribute here, Pete. If you could please just go over what to expect next from the process itself, since we're just about wrapped up, since we're about to go to referendum. If you could just explain.
Yep. So the next step in the process will be, once we adjourn this meeting, then the next step will be for the taxpayers and residents of New Milford, property owners as well, to vote on the municipal budget. And this year, we will be having an actual vote. On May 18th, it will be at the regular voting places from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. and also the ability for absentee ballots as well, where you have the ability, again, to be able to vote either in person or absentee on the budget.
How do you get an absentee ballot, Pete?
Noreen?
You would apply.
Oops, you're muted, Noreen.
Am I okay now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, start the whole thing over.
Okay, you would start, you'd get an application in this office, and we would either, you could mail it to us, we can mail you the ballot, or you can come in and get it. We will have the drop box set up downstairs again. If you want to drop off your ballot, you can do that. And that's it. It's kind of the same as usual. You need to have an application for it. Okay, that's it.
And Mike, lastly, a real big thank you ahead of time to Noreen and her team and our voter registrars and everyone that would be volunteering as well, as we would then have our referendum on the 18th. So can't thank them enough. They do a yeoman's job between now and then and during the day and evening of voting night. So thank you.
All right. And last thing, Pete, or Noreen, I guess whoever's going to be answering this. Is it too late to sign up to volunteer to help at the polls? And how would somebody go about doing that?
Well, they would have to contact the Register of Voters. They're the ones who kind of assign who's working where and everything. So that's who they would contact, the Register of Voters office.
Okay. Mike, do we have anyone else that is looking to speak tonight?
Last call to get those hands raised. Remember, we are in a webinar, so that means all you have to do is go to the bottom of your screen and click the raise hand icon. It's a yellow hand that looks like this, and it has raise hand underneath it to raise your hand.
And then, Mike, could we unmute everyone because we're going to need to entertain a motion to adjourn?
Okay, so I actually can't force anyone to unmute, but I'll send everybody an invitation to unmute. You will have to just bear with me for a second because it's going to take everybody a second to get unmuted.
Tommy's not.
Okay. And
Okay.
we'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to
Second.
adjourn.
Second it.
I'm sorry, who seconded it? Mike?
Yeah.
Mike Boucher?
Okay. All those in favor of the adjournment?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Well, I want to thank everybody for coming to tonight's meeting, and I look forward to everyone getting out and voicing their opinion on the 18th. Again, thank you, everybody.